Yeah, I mean, it's really in a lot of ways just a decision making in the moment, and we just got to try to keep getting better at it. It's hard because guys are getting in the lane and we're making plays, or some of it was some offensive fouls. And then a lot of times I thought we had a few where we're just careless, trying to overhandle too much, trying to do too much with the ball that's just not there. But really, it's more the decision making piece that we've got to keep working at and showing them and trying to get better at.
Players routinely call you a pretty direct communicator. I mean, you just go right to it and say, hey, look, I mean, these are.
No, I mean, this is what I said, after the game to them. I felt like there's been way too many games coming out of the half that we just haven't even been in the game, midway through the third quarter, where it's gone to maybe a 2 or 3 point game and we're down by like 20. You know what I mean? And at that point, we're not going to be able to score enough points. But I just think to what you just mentioned, Casey, it's the winning play stuff. It's the missed blockouts. It's the turnovers. It's fouling when there's no need to foul because you're reaching in and being somewhat undisciplined. That's the stuff. And we haven't been in these games because, quite honestly, we've been talking a lot about competing better. And I think some of the competing part for us, some of the turnovers had been because of spacing. And I think we have tried to work really hard on the spacing part of it for all of them. But I just think it's like the winning play stuff. I talk to him about that. We've got to be able to compete better when the adversity hits it. It's a struggle, and I think Sam, maybe you mentioned it, when these teams ramp it up or they go to a different level because they want to just separate. Like we got to fight harder, and have an understanding of that. And I told him I thought we did that tonight, but it was just like to your point, it was turnovers, it was the offensive rebounding, it was fouling. And we got to the free throw line, I think, more than they did tonight. But overall, like in crucial moments where we're right there and we foul, we give up an offensive rebound, or we turn it over.
Seemed like, despite what was suggested before the game, when you did play more in this, when you played more into your identity. Now the other team plays that way,
Yep.
So they played into it. But it seemed like, did you feel like they just ran out of gas kind of in the fourth quarter because it slowed down quite a bit?
It did. I think yeah, it did. I mean, I think the turnovers, I think that some of the fouling, those things I think probably slowed it down. Turnovers, a lot of dead ball turnovers where it was change of possession. But the game definitely slowed. I thought we did a good job with our spacing for the most part. I mean, there's areas we still got to get better at, but the spacing was a little bit better. I thought we were more intentional about spraying the ball out, and trying to make the extra pass and find the next guy. The last game coming out of our last game, like we've always been really, really good in the potential assist category. We were like, we only had a potential assist on like 42% of our, total number of shots, which for us is just not a good recipe because we just don't have a one-on-one team, and we're going to have to do it together and share the ball. But I thought the pace, we did a better job, I thought, running, and that opened up some things for us.
Like there was a little bit of more of an opportunity for Modest to kind of control some of the offense and like move through him a little bit in the down the stretch portion of the game. A lot of it for him has been kind of like in transition. What are things that you're working on with him in terms of like creating in the half court, especially in those kind of moments?
Yeah, this was really good for him tonight because I thought that I thought he got into some situations tonight that he didn't get in the other night. Where you're going to make a move and you're shut off, and then all of a sudden you're stopping and you're trying to pivot, go the other way, and then he gets himself in trouble. Like if he can't get by the guy quickly or step back and shoot it. He had one play, I think it was in the third quarter. I told him like he kind of came off this pick and roll and he drove it, and I think it was Grant kind of started to really back up to contain the drive, and he stepped back and he shot a three. And he really created good separation. And I told him, I said, that's how you have to play off the dribble. I thought coming down the stretch, it was too much where he was trying to go, but he was shut off. He needed to get off of it, get into another action, keep your body moving. I thought he became a little bit easier to guard, but this is good for him. He's got to go through some of these things in those moments. And, I think playing in some closer games is going to be better for our team, and especially for someone like him, because we just quite honestly haven't been in those situations with the group at all. I mean, the New York game was probably the last game that was closest to where kind of they pulled away at the end. But certainly the last game against Charlotte, I mean, we're down by, I mean, we got outscored by 26 in the third quarter. So I think the more we can get into these kind of situations, the more they'll be able to grow in terms of, okay, understanding like what are the things you have to really do to impact winning. But, like even I think tonight, maybe he had 4 turnovers. I don't know how many came down the stretch, but this is kind of going to be the growth. And I think he was really, I don't want to say decisive because I think he was trying to be decisive tonight, but he made quicker decisions in terms of it was like down the lane, stop, little floater, pull up jump shot, off the screen, three, all the way downhill. And I think tonight you saw more of the going back and forth and trying to get by his guy. And I thought that made him a little bit one dimensional and easier to guard.
I know you pointed out the turnovers, which are obvious to everybody. But when we asked you about Josh, you pointed out, well, he's playing with so many new guys, and you don't know what guys are going to do, and you don't know natural. So when you play fast like that, and you want the way you want to play, is it inevitable that you're going to just have because if you got all these new guys who are not accustomed to the way each other plays, and then you're trying to play with speed, probably you're going to have to live with a certain number of turnovers.
Well, it's funny you say that because I thought the same thing. So not this game, but the 3 previous games, we've turned the ball over 63 times, 3 times in transition. It's all in the half court. That's where our problem is. It's the decision making in the half court, and kind of going back to what we talked about before the game. Do you really want to play fast when these guys aren't accustomed to playing fast? Our problem is we get caught in the half court. We've actually generated and shot the ball well from behind the line. We're shooting maybe, I think, 13th best with this group, with being whole coming out the All-Star break. But the majority of our turnovers have been in the half court. Some of it's been spacing, some of it's been decision making, guys leaving their feet early, getting caught in the air. Spacing issues where trying to make plays that are not there, driving into gaps where there's helps and there's fills and the ball's getting slapped out of our hands. So to that point, most of our turnovers have come in the half court. So you think, okay, where we're running, we're just throwing the ball over the gym, but that's really not what's happening. It's been way more in the half court for us. Because you think the same thing. We're playing fast. This is new for these guys. Well, let's get a breakdown of where our turnovers are coming from and how they're coming. And obviously, a huge portion of them are in the half court.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep, thank you.
Or how much is it just kind of poor decisions and carelessness?
I think it could be both of those things. Just got to make better decisions at the end of the day. Once we get we're good at getting in the paint and 2 feet in the paint. We just got to make better decisions when we get in there.
How frustrating has this streak been for you guys? Do you take it personal, or do you kind of just pull back and understand, hey, look, we had a total flip of the roster, and this is kind of unprecedented to have 7 new faces on the roster?
I mean, we're not making excuses. We don't think we're, 11, 12 game losing streak bad. At this point, we just got to come to the game focused and do the little things right. Blocking out, not turning the ball over, not letting them get second chance points, just doing the little things in between games.
Are you considering the losing streak and the deals you guys made at the deadline? Because the word is going to be tossed around is tank, and I know you guys are not trying to tank. The staff is not trying to tank, but the team that got put together at the deadline, that's all people are going to point to. What is that like for you to sort of be associated with this idea, even if it's out of your control? This idea of you guys are tanking.
I don't really care what people think we're trying to do. At the end of the day, the guys in the locker room, coaching staff, we're trying to win. I don't care if people think we're trying to tank or whatever. We know that anytime we get on the court, put our shoes on, lace our shoes up, like we're trying to win a game.
Is the pressure getting way too much at this point? Where these losses are coming in. It's not stopping.
It's too much pressure.
Yeah. Losing. Sometimes a mindset sets in and you can't win.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it's too much pressure. I think there's bigger things in the world than losing games. But we do got to figure out how to win games. We do got to do the little things right. I wouldn't call it pressure.
Billy was just making an interesting point where he's saying most of the turnovers are coming in the half court, and obviously you guys used to run a lot through Booch, and he's no longer here. You have so many new guys, not a lot of practice time. So how do you, as one of the guys who's been here a while and a veteran, try to help the younger guys in terms of familiarity, terminology, that kind of stuff?
I mean, just trying to get people set on the court. I mean, it's still trying to get guys to, we're learning to play still, where to be on the court. I mean, we run a fast-paced offense and we try to get through our actions quick and stuff. So just trying to get guys in the right spots because, if you're in the wrong spots, it messes up the whole play. Now, the court is not spaced out and that can cause a lot of turnovers.
Circumstances, not only have so many new players, but changing rotations. If you guys start the game and you guys go out with injured, how does that affect, the game overall, as you're playing the game?
I mean, I don't think it affects the game. I don't think trades, whoever's on the court, I don't think it affects anything. What we can control whatever we do on the court. We can control our turnovers. We can control how we box out. We can control our rebounding. We control if we're playing hard. Like if we could just control the controllables, we'll be good.